Hello everyone, my name is Kendra Davidson and the social program I chose for this course is bullying. And over the past 6 weeks I have been creating a program called Beyond Bullying. This video we are going to discuss the many aspects of bullying, ways to prevent it, ways to intervene during the situation. But first we're going to go over some of the basics and go over the program hypothesis, the problem. We're going to define the problem, define bullying, and those types of definitions. Going to go over the rationale. Why is this topic important? And also, we're going to talk about the target audience and the goal and the objective of this program. So the first thing that I would like to start with is the program hypothesis. My program hypothesis is if we can determine what causes the behaviors in bullying and stop that, then we are going to be able to decrease the number of childhood depression and suicide and revengeful school shootings. In many cases, some victims who have been bullied will take revenge on their bullies at school in a deathly manner. So that's my hypothesis of the program, and hopefully we'll get more into that later as the video goes on. The problem is bullying is on the rise in our school systems. Across the nation, every day 1 out of 6 children gets bullied in our school systems, and it can lead to depression, which also can lead to suicide and those revengeful school shootings that we have seen lately. That is just, it's sad to hear when we hear it on the news, and that's one of the major problems that that bullying causes. The rationale of the program is, my program is designed to help children, parents, as well as school administrators and teachers, faculty and staff of the school systems, and to help them in what to do in a bullying situation. Children who are victims of bullies suffer from many physical and mental issues while they are being bullied, as well as up into their adulthood. So this is a very big issue that we need to resolve, so our parents and children who are growing up do not have mental issues as they reach adulthood. My target audience for this program is going to be for parents, for children, and the school administration or the school system, faculty and staff, as well as teachers, of course. As for the children, it's going to be both for victims and for bullies. For kids who are usually shy, are mostly the victims, and then for those kids who have the behaviors of taking control and wanting that power, the bullies, it's going to really help both types of children. They will both benefit for this program. My goal of this program is to decrease the number of bullying situations, which will lead to a decrease in depression, which leads to decreased number of suicides, and to eliminate school shootings as well. The objective of my program is to help kids learn how to deal and cope with bullying situations, and this will lead to a decrease in all the ones that we've been talking about: depression, suicide, and school shootings. Participants will learn how to cope and how to deal with bullies, what they need to do. They will be educated on who to tell and how you should tell and when you should tell. Coping situations is such as telling teachers or being able to have that high self-esteem to let the bullies know, I'm going to stand up for myself and be who I want to be regardless of what you have to say. And that will just my program will promote to stand up for oneself and to create a high self-esteem where children can build healthy relationships together instead of tearing each other down. The next couple of things we will go over is going to be some statistics. We'll go over how are bullies created, what makes a bully, who is targeted in bullying situations, why are they targeted, and how we can how we can intervene and interventions, and how we can prevent um, bullying and help our children to have a safe environment that they're going to grow up in. So some of the statistics that the research shows is that one in every six child will be bullied sometime throughout their school life, which that's quite high and is not very, we need to do something about that. And that is just physical abuse. More children are bullied verbally, and now with the increase in technology on social media and as they call cyberbullying, texting, and stuff like that. Bullying is a daily occurrence in all of the school systems, and both bullies and victims suffer from the act of bullying. Bullying is defined by Knudsen and Thornburg that it is defined as any negative action acted out by one or more students over a period of time. So this includes physical bullying, name calling, verbal, mental abuse, all types of negative action is considered a bullying behavior. Um, Bullies usually prey on weaker students, those students who do not fit in. Those are the ones who have the low self-esteem, they're shy, and it takes them a little while to build up that confidence that they need to stand up to bullying. Now we will discuss the reasons why bullies bully. There are many different reasons why, but all of them do tend to choose those who are weak, and they prey on those who will not stand up for themselves. One of the reasons bullying is a major factor is because the bullies intentionally want to hurt other students or other children, either physically or mentally, and in many cases, in both. With the physical abuse, the mental stage of the child is affected as well. Girls and boys both go through bullying. It's a different, they can have different types of bullying. Girls tend to be more jealous and exhibit more of an internet or cyberbullying, and where boys are more physical. Another reason bullies bully is because there's a social class started at a very young age, and those who do not fit into a particular class are made fun of or taken advantage of. Every school has their cliques. Every school has their cool kids and their not so cool kids, and that's a problem. That is why bullies, it's perfect target. When there's a social system put into a school system, that's where the problem lies. One group is not going to get along with the other, and everyone is feuding and making fun of and talking about each other. Peer pressure is along with that. Peer pressure, and then the pressure from everyone in their groups, and the pressure to feel cool is a good cause of bullying. And there's an opposite side to that. If someone wants to be in the cool group and they feel as though they need to be mean to those who aren't just to fit in, that's a type of bullying as well. Trying to fit in versus making fun of someone because they do not fit in. It's in the same social class. Another reason bullies bully is because they find it amusing. They take pleasure in hurting someone physically or mentally, knowing that they have caused pain into someone's life, which is a very sad thing to think about. Another form of bullying is actually revenge bullying. Revenge bullying can cause very many problems for both victims and bullies. Girls especially tend to fall under revenge bullying. If someone's boyfriend likes another girl, then that girl will take out revenge on the other girl, and will just torment her. And it's something that needs to be changed, and girls are bad at that, and they need to understand that as women And as girl power, we need to help each other and support each other and not tear each other down. We've talked about bullies and we've talked about why they bully, who is targeted, but now we're going to talk about why are bullies the way they are. And research shows that bullies are actually victims outside of school. Their parents are their bullies, and thus creating a cycle, creating bullies in the school system. Outside of school, their parents are demeaning and putting their own children down and do not feel like anything is wrong with that. And it's sad to know, but um, further research shows child behaviors are based in their parental conduct. If parents bully, then the child will likely bully. Bullies are also twice as likely to have been exposed to domestic violence. So most bullies have a hard home life. They don't know how else to act towards their peers. They only know how their parents treat them. And if their parents are bullies to them, they're going to be bullies to their peers and to their friends that they want. Know how to make friends. Their attention at home is given to them by their parents, and their parents are treating them like victims. They're putting them down. So in that case, that's the only way they know how to treat others, and that is very sad. Children who are victims in the home are unable to recognize what they are doing is wrong because that's how they feel at home. Okay, research shows that children in domestic violence homes are witnessing and experiencing poor conflict resolution and feel as though they are being treated unfairly. Although these feelings become internalized and in turn they tend to deal with conflict with behaviors consistency directly with bullying. So in other words, they're internalizing all this anger they have towards their family and thus um, taking it out on their peers and on their classmates at school. um, there's also a thoughtless bullying, which is very rare and can happen to almost any one of us, and it's probably shown more in the workplace than at school. It's thoughtless bullying. You don't realize you're actually causing harm or being mean to the other person. These types of bullyings are usually followed up by an apology because the person is literally not meaning to bully the victim and is quickly resolved, which is a great thing. The next thing we are going to talk about is the results of bullying. There are many results from physical to mental issues that children go through up until their adulthood. One of the physical issues that children can have, and this can be even teenagers, is going to be bedwetting. Their emotional state is not stable, and they can't control their bladder, and which is very sad. They have fear instilled in them by their bullies, and it causes harm to their body. They are not able to control um, their bodily functions. And research has found that children exposed to violent behavior at the beginning of a school year had an increased risk of developing psychosomatic difficulties such as bedwetting, abdominal pain, and tension. Along with that tension is going to come stress. Victims will portray a lot of stress, and this stress can in turn affect their everyday life. Children will feel lonely and sad, and they will tend to clam up and not want to talk to anybody about what is going on and happening to them. Along with this tension, they're not going to be able to sleep as well. Their eating habits will change. Of course, especially in girls, young girls, or even older girls, if they have been bullied and called fat, eating disorders are a huge result of bullying, either overeating or anorexia, not eating at all, or bulimia, where they will eat and then puke up what they just ate. And it's all a result of bullying at school and in their lives. If a student is bullied at school, they're not they do not want to go to school, and this will decrease their grades. Their attendance will be shot. They won't show up. Their daily or their school activities will suffer. They'll suffer greatly because of it. GPAs will be dropped, and it's all connected. Bullying and their ability to cope with the bullying is they can't cope with the bullying, so they don't want to go to school. Another effect of bullying is their self-esteem and their psychological issues that they will face because of bullying. They will start to believe the bullies. They will believe that they are worthless or that they are fat or whatever the case may be in that issue. High levels of anxiety will follow along with the high levels of feeling sad and loneliness. Stress and tension will also be associated with this anxiety. According to research, children involved in bullying had an increased risk of developing psychological difficulties as anxiety, tension, and fatigue. Their energy levels will decrease. They will not want to do anything. Their extracurricular activities, they will not want to participate in any longer. And all of these types of issues can lead to depression. And we all know as depression, anything can trigger the suicide. The last time a bully bullies, that could be the last time the victim can take it and they decide to end their lives. But suicide right now is at an all-time high, and it's still on the rise. It is sad to see when you hear about a young girl hanging themselves because um, another girl made fun of her, or there was a boy involved in some type of situation like that. Another worst case scenario and effect of bullying is going to be revenge, school shootings, and that just is, it's it's horrible. And this revenge type of action taken by the victims is going to play a huge role in the program. Um, Revenge is not necessarily, it should never happen, and that is one thing the program will talk about is how to cope with the bullying so that we'll never get to that point of revenge. School shootings happen and they are on the rise as well. Recently, there's a 12-year-old that brought a gun to school and shot a teacher and tried to shoot other students, and then as well took his own life. So suicide goes along with school shootings in most cases. Now we're going to move on from all of the sad effects and um, go into what effects do bullies have. Bullying is not easy for bullies. It leads them down the wrong path. Bullies have a higher risk of getting in trouble by the law. They experience negative results in later in life because of their actions. Bullies have a higher risk in engaging in drugs and alcohol at a younger age than most victims. All of their built-up aggression leads them down the road to drugs and alcohol, as well as their home lives. Their home lives, that's the norm. Parents drink, and that's what they feel as though that's how they escape reality. Bullies also tend to get into trouble by fighting, vandalizing, and engaging in other illegal activity. Research shows that bullies are at more risk to be in jail by the time they hit their 20s. They engage in more illegal activity and find themselves in the system, the judicial system, faster than most victims do, which is sad. And also, bullies have a hard time maintaining relationships. They do not know how to keep a healthy relationship, and they don't know how to maintain one. Their relationships with their children are the same as with their parents, and they don't know how to treat them. Domestic violence is associated with their families, their marriage, or their relationship with their partners is usually non-existent. They cannot get along for extended periods of times, and they are also violent and abusive towards everyone in their families. So this program is designed to help both bullies and victims to break the bullying cycle that parents create when they create bullies, and thus when bullies grow up, they create a new generation of bullies. So intervening is a very important part of the Beyond Bullying program. How to intervene is very simple. We need to educate our children and tell our children, speak up for themselves. Tell an adult. Intervene as quickly as possible. Parents need to know and communicate with their children, and they should be able to know when something is wrong in their child's life. Teachers need to be able to pick up on the little clues and the hints that bullies give off and be able to stop the bullying action before it can occur. Um, and resolving the issue can be as simple as standing up for the victim, or as simple as having the victim walk away. As if the bully feels threatened in any way, or knows that his point is not, or her point is not going to be put across, they most likely will stop the bullying action. They will stop the negativity towards the other child. One thing that teachers need to do to intervene is to open up the lines of communication between their students. For instance, and this is a research study, one study that contrasted students' and teachers' perception found at large a portion of the staff, 87% of the staff, thought that they had effective strategies at handling bullying situations, and 97%, almost 100% of the staff reported that they would intervene if they had witnessed bullying, yet only 21% of students told the teachers when bullying was involved. And they only 21% of students reported an event of bullying to a staff member. Even though teachers know 97% of the time they will intervene, they can't intervene if children do not tell the teachers, if they don't know what is going on, only 21% of the time. That is a big gap. 97% of teachers will intervene, but only 21% of students will tell. And that's a 76% gap right there, that children are not telling the teachers. And a way for a teacher to intervene is to know what's going on. So in that case, teachers should have a relationship with their students, a trusting relationship where students should be able to tell them exactly what happened, exactly what's going on, and know to get help in these situations. As well as parents. Parents should understand their children, know their children when they get home from school, know if something is wrong or not. That is a great way to stop bullying from happening. Intervene if you see your child had a bad day. Ask them why. Find out. Do some investigating. Let your child know you're on their team, that you will fight for them, because they need the extra support to get through school because of the bullies that are now in schools. Children should not be afraid to tell their parents. You should be able to talk to your parents about anything. And parents should be able to know when something is wrong with their children. And prevention. Prevention is what this program is definitely about. We need to prevent these suicides and prevent these school shootings and prevent these physical and mental abuse issues with our children. That's how us as adults should protect our children. Prevention starts at home and starts in the classroom. Parents need to instill in their children to be nice to everyone. They need to tell them, treat others how you want to be treated, and they need to live by this example. Children are like sponges. They soak up everything parents say and everything parents do. So parents really need to lead by example and show children to respect others regardless of their sexual orientation, their race, their class, their culture. Across the board, they need to respect everyone regardless of any of those situations. And then also, parents need to educate their children. They need to educate their children on what to do in a bullying situation, how to avoid bullying situations, and just talk to them and open those lines of communication. Um, Educating children is a parent's number one job. Children don't know how to act, they learn from their parents, and that's how parents should teach their children. As well as prevention is going to start at school. Teachers need to let their children know that it is okay to come to them for anything. They also need to tell them how to avoid situations. And through this program, that's what we'll talk about, is how to avoid bullying. You walk away if it becomes physical. Go run and tell a teacher that your classmate is bullying you, is being mean, and that's all it takes. As soon as you stand up to a bully, will they won't bully. They can't. That's not in their behavior. If you stand up to a bully, they will shut down, and that's what our teachers and our parents need to instill in our children. Stand up for themselves. Know that it's okay to be different, and be and love who you are. Have that high self-esteem where nothing can build you down. You know that old saying, sticks and stones can break your bones, but words will never hurt you. It's a great saying for teachers and parents to tell their children, and great ways for them to be able to cope with any bullying situation. Um, Teachers and staff at school need to be prepared for all bullying types of mentally and physical bullying. 97% of them said that they were ready. Now they need to put their preparation and their training that they have gained into action, to let their students know, to teach their students, to actually train their students how to interact together, to build healthy relationships, and to prevent bullying. Now we'll talk about support and prevention through support. Children are our future. They need our support. We have to support them in any way possible. And as a community, we should be able to come together and stomp out bullying. There are many anti-bullying organizations out there that are working hard to prevent bullying, but it's going to take a nationwide and a community-wide effort to really eliminate the bullying process. We have got to come together and support our children. Our children need a safe environment and a safe place to know that nothing will harm them or be mean to them at school and at home as well. Building awareness through community is a great step as well to prevent bullying. Awareness can help students understand that bullying is not acceptable and how the pain and suffering it causes for everyone included. Most community members know and hear about bullying happening, but they need to be educated on the specifics and on the outcomes and on the effects it has on our children, in order for them to really rally around and completely stomp out bullying and live beyond bullying. Creating a safe environment for our kids is, as adults, is what we should strive for. Um, Kids are our future, and bullying is an everyday occurrence that 1 in 6 of them will have to deal with, and that's just physical abuse. 2 out of 3 will have mental or cyberbullying, which is the new thing now with advanced technology, and that's something that we all need to prevent and work together. The success of my program is going to be based on how children interact with each other. If they can build healthy relationships instead of tearing each other down, my program will be designed to help them understand that bullying is not acceptable and how to be able to cope with the bullying situation, to know in their heart and in their selves that they are strong enough to handle a bully and stand up and take place, even if it's their friend is the one that's being bullied. Children need to have that courage to stand up for what is right in the world. And the success of the program will come with the decrease in amount of suicides, the decrease in amount of depression, and the decrease in amount of physical and verbal and mental abuse in our school systems. This program will help them even more to help the victims. Victims, as well as bullies, need to know that it's okay to tell a teacher, it's okay to tell an adult what is going on. And that's how the success of the program will be measured, is over time and throughout our communities, to see how a community reacts to a program like Beyond Bullying. That will conclude my presentation over bullying. Thank you for your time, and I hope everyone has a great end of semester. I look forward to reading the next 2 weeks' discussions. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.